Hi, it's Marty Millner with Coldwell Banker Hearthside Realtors in Newtown, Pennsylvania. Thanks for watching another edition of my video blog. Today we're going to learn exactly what the market's doing. People ask me all the time, how's the market? And periodically I like to take a pretty detailed look at the statistics and kind of let everybody know exactly what's going on, both in Bucks County as well as in the specific markets, although I work all over the county, Yardley, Newtown, Washington's Crossing. So for the county, been kind of an interesting year. We've seen this almost month after month after month. Compared with the end of July last year, we're actually, there have been almost 16% more houses that have gone to closing this year through July than last year through July. That's a big number. The sample size, the number of closings through July this year is a little over 3,846 homes to be exact throughout Bucks County. Average sale price with all that activity and some of the national media that's talked about crazy appreciating markets. Well, in Bucks County, the average sale price this year is 1.4% ahead of where it was at the end of July last year. And again, despite very active transaction numbers, the average days on the market is actually 1 day higher this year than it was last year at the same time. It's 78. July alone, though, was a really strong month. We had almost 27 more houses that settled this July compared with last July. So price appreciation, 2014, throughout the year, we generated about just a little over 1%, 1.4% price increase, average sold price through the county. In 2013, that number was 2.4%. So we're not seeing crazy appreciation, unfortunately, in the county right now. Pending sales, which are those homes that have accepted an offer just waiting for closing, this July are 19.5% better, more than they were last July. And inventory levels, which I think is one of the most interesting statistics that I've been following, the number of houses on the market for about 14 consecutive months has been higher when you compare the current year with the same time the previous year. So that takes out any seasonality. Countywide, right now, we're only a little less than 1% of higher in terms of inventory. The number of houses on the market is actually 0.7% higher at the end of July this year than last year. And the absorption rate, which is just a fancy word basically for saying how many months it would take for, at the current rate of sales, for all the houses to be sold, it's 8.5 this year at the end of July countywide compared with 9.2 last year. So we're starting to see, and I think this is a really meaningful statistic, we're starting to see the number of houses on the market decreasing in terms of how much higher it was than the previous year, and with the amount of activity staying steady much higher than last year. That's something I'm going to be paying really close attention to, because if we continue to see declining inventory levels with a lot of activity, we're going to see some inventory shortages. And neighborhood by neighborhood, I think we still actually do see some of that. And I always mention real estate is always very hyper local. Some of the neighborhoods that I work in all the time have no inventory, no houses on the market, and others have multiple homes on the market. So it's very neighborhood specific. And if you look at just the Lower Makefield Township Yardley market, houses on the market this year up just under 1% compared with last year. Number of transactions 25% higher than last year. Inventory, there's about 7.7 months of inventory. And average sold price in Lower Makefield, this is also interesting, is actually 5.4% higher as of the end of July than it was last year. Keep in mind that the sample size is much smaller with individual markets like Yardley, Newtown. As an example, 231 houses sold through July this year, so it's much easier for some unusual transactions to sort of skew the statistics, whereas the county-wide, we're dealing with, close to 4,000 units. I think it's a much more meaningful statistic. As I mentioned before, the market is very, very community, even neighborhood specific. So if you're curious to know how many houses are on the market in your neighborhood, what they're selling for, how long it's taking to sell them, feel free to call me. I'm at 215-519-1399. You can email me, marty@martinmillner.com. I always appreciate your watching. Would love to answer any questions you have. Thanks very much. Have a great day.